now that you've set up your learning space, it's time to create your first Google Meeting. Now, I'm going to assume a lot of people have been hearing about Google Meet and have been exploring on their own, and that's great. But if you haven't, we're going to start from square one. This browser is Google Chrome. We recommend using Chrome. It's natively will work better with Google Meet and all the Google products. And I've never used Google Meet on this session of browser before. So the first step, go to meet.google.com. First time you go here, I'm already signed in. And you're going to want to click Settings. And all these pop-ups just came on your screen. And what is all this? And let's go through it step by step. Meet.google.com wants to use your microphone and camera. Seems obvious, right? But we want to make sure we click Allow there. Excuse me. I'll close that. All right. And then now you can see next to the microphone, there is a bouncing sound that indicates that audio is being heard. And I'm going to press Test. And I hear a ringing in my ears. I'm not sure if you could hear that through the recording or not. Then if I click Video, I can see myself. And it's using my FaceTime camera. You may want to adjust these settings. I'm using headphones and the external microphone on the computer. If everything's working great, you're in really good shape, this is good. If you didn't see all those pop-ups, you should see this little camera icon on the top where you can make changes. And you're going to want to make sure to allow those settings, okay? And you can manage them here inside of this window. That didn't go where I expected. So just ignore that statement. You'll definitely want to manage your settings. But anyway, everything looks like it's working great here. So let's continue. So if you've never joined a meeting before, just click Join or Start a Meeting. This shows we have your agenda for the day. I have a meeting at 3 o'clock this afternoon. If you have meetings scheduled, you'll see them here as well. So when you first join a meeting, it'll ask you for information. My first Google Meet. And continue. So it's getting ready. Camera is starting. It's my screen next to my camera just turned green. I see the audio bouncing. And quickly, let's discuss the workspace. So in the previous video, I discussed how you should try to minimize distraction, have good video, and present yourself in a way that everyone can see you. So if you don't feel comfortable sharing your screen, right over here is the camera icon. Just turn it off and your camera will be off. This is where you would mute yourself. Red is mute. No red icon means your microphone is on. And you just join now. You can copy this information or add people directly to the meeting. So let's add our student Bart. And Bart's always late to meetings. So hopefully he joins us, but he's probably not going to. He's going to be in detention. So I'm just adjusting my screen because I was a little cut off. And let's go over the layout of a Google Meeting. So again, down here is the microphone. This is to end the call. This is to turn off your camera. We're not going to focus on closed captions. I haven't really played with it. Feel free to play if you're interested. Present now is if you want to share your entire screen or just a window. This is really valuable. There's going to be times where you're going to have content you want to share. That's probably more valuable than just someone interacting with you face to face. So you could share that content out to the students and present it on your screen. We'll go into way more detail on that in a little bit. Up here, the silhouette of the people shows who's in the room. The cartoon bubble icon is chat. Hello, class. We'll put chats in. And depending on how you want to manage your meeting, you're going to want to either have them chat and you'll leave your chat window open, or you'll want to see everyone's face and look for hands raised, or however you plan on doing it. maybe everyone's mics will just be open and you have an open conversation. If you want to remove that window and push it over, just click anywhere in the main screen and it'll go away. There's additional features by clicking the three dots. Most important is record meeting. Recording your meeting is really valuable if all the students aren't able to attend. It's going to be beneficial for them to review your lecture. If you click record meeting, it will start. If you plan on recording your meetings again, you really do want to let everyone know you're going to be doing that. And then it's going to be available in Google Drive. And then as soon as the Drive link appears, you'll get an email. And then you can share that Drive file directly to your Schoology class the same way you would share any other content. You may want to change the share settings to anyone at Pingree with a link can view. And we could do that now. So if we're going to record meeting, ask for consent, accept. So now we're recording this meeting. Additional features, you could change the layout, make it full screen, some additional settings, and report a problem. This is not going to come to Pingree. This goes to Google. So if you feel like leaving feedback now or at the end of the call, certainly an option, but not something you have to do. So at this point, we're going to end this test call, and I'm going to show you another method in which you could record a call. So we'll close that window, and now we're back inside of the main screen. All right, so we've created a document about the way we think it would be very effective for the Pingree faculty to share meetings, and that is from the Google Calendar. So everyone's classes are already in Google Calendar, so a lot of the heavy lifting is done for you. If you were to go to Calendar and say on Monday, March 30th, you have a couple classes, and if you were to go into the class, you'll notice you can't edit anything. That's because you didn't create this meeting. The Veracross system and Google created this calendar event on your behalf. So you go to Dots and Duplicate. Now this is an exact copy of your class meeting, and you'll notice all the kids and the room you normally teach your class in are already guests. You go down here to Add Conference and select Hangouts Meet. Now, you may notice I have some additional icons on my screen. You're not going to have those. There's nothing to worry about there. And now it says Join Hangouts Meet, and it gives you the class information. Now, a nice feature would be to add any coursework here. So let's add our Google Meet resource. That's our agenda for this meeting. And then we see the time is set. One last step you could do is just copy this if you want it. And then you'll have access to it in a number of ways, but I'd like to copy it now and save. And then if you want to send invitations to guests, you just say yes. And now you'll see you have two events where there was just one before. And then this event is the old one, and this event is the new one. And you see the new one has Join Hangouts Meet. At any point, you could just click this and go directly into the meeting. Or you could use the phone. It's a 10-digit number plus a 9-digit PIN and pound. Now, we do recommend going to your Schoology course and adding the Google Meet information there as well. There's a number of ways you could add that material. Either you could just do a link, and you can structure your course however you want by section, or you can create a folder of class materials and class discussions. I like using the discussion material type. And I'm just naming it something that's relevant and easy to identify. So class meeting 3/30/2020. And now I'm going to paste that meeting information in. So if anyone's just using Schoology and they're not really hyper-focused on their email or their calendar, they still have that information. And I like to set a due date so that way it appears right in their notifications. So Schoology is loading. And now you'll see, and all the students will see, that you have a class meeting at 11 a.m. And if they click the class meeting at 11 a.m., they're going to get a link directly to the Google Meet. Now, even though we've scheduled this Google Meet for the future, we could just start it now. So if you wanted to, you can just click this link and it's going to bring you right over to the same meeting screen. Now this is a really effective way to distribute those class meetings. So again, at this point, this is no longer your first meeting. You should have your camera working properly, your audio is working properly. You may want to adjust your screen, the lighting in the room, and you just click join now. All right, so you have meeting details here, and then sometimes, and I don't, it's possible because I just created this meeting, but a Google attachment should show up here. But if it doesn't, it's always a good idea to add attachments as well to the Schoology course. So if you have handouts, you could just add them right inside of the class discussion and reference them in your meeting and let the kids know that that's where they can be getting them from. Again, Google interface is really simple. You know, you're going to want to discuss etiquette and things with the kids, maybe have them mute their microphones, etc., etc. But this is the nuts and bolts of how to create your very first Google meeting. So we can close that one as well.